I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the ultimate Cleveland sports show.
Very good, Mike. Jarrett Allen, will he or will he not be traded this offseason? That's one of the big questions after the draft once the league year starts next week. And we've talked a lot about it, the possibilities of trading both Darius and Jarrett Allen. So Mike has created some trades for us, some potential trades that you believe are all based in reality.
Based in, if it happened, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, where'd that come from?
Right.
So I think these are at least.
And you've tried, and unlike most fans that try to make trades and they end up being one-sided for their team.
Yeah, try to make these fair.
You've tried to make them fair.
Yeah.
And so in this segment, we're going to decide, the three of us, whether we would make this trade or not if we were the Cavs, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Just simply from a Cleveland perspective, yes or no.
Got it.
And then
we understand the assignment.
And there's a big point, G, real quick.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
When
You
we
got
get to the end,
everything.
there's a point that I kind of came to at the end, and I'm curious if your guys' conclusion is the same as mine after going through these. So, and also want to reference, the goal is to try and find a wing. That's the biggest on the roster. Most of these involve trying to find some sort of wing that you can plug and play and be an immediate upgrade over their current wing situation. With that being said, the first hypothetical Jarrett Allen trade involves Kenny Atkinson's former team. If the Warriors called the Cavs and offered Andrew Wiggins, Trace Jackson Davis, who was a promising rookie last season, a big man, and a 2025 first-round pick, so not a pick in tonight's draft, but a pick in next year's draft, would the Cavs accept the trade of Andrew Wiggins, Trace Jackson Davis, and a next year's first?
Yes.
For Jarrett Allen?
Wouldn't it be ironic if Andrew Wiggins ended up back with the Cavs?
Yes.
How good? You know what? I didn't even pay close attention to Wiggins. How good was he this year?
He wasn't that
Not
great.
great
He was
this
not
year.
great.
Didn't he have personal problems a lot of the year? Like, was out?
He did. He was in and out.
So what's going on with him? Like, what do you think of him as a player right now?
Well, last year he was. Or was it last year or 2 years ago? He was really good. I mean,
last year he was the reason they won the finals.
He earned his check. But
so what happened this past year?
His best friend
died.
No, his best friend like slept with his girl and had a baby with her.
What?
And he thought it was his kid, and then he found out that it was his best friend's
I didn't know anything
kid.
about that.
So like it messed him up mentally. Yeah.
That is messed up.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a friend.
Hey, man, that's why you keep your wife at the crib. Nah, bro.
You can't be. That
So
friend like
you can see why he was messed up this year.
He'd be like, yo, you was at the crib?
The two closest people to him kind of deceived him.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, but do we know he's going to be over that? I mean, that's not something easy to get over.
Yeah. I'd make the move.
I would
do it.
I
He
would
need a
definitely
fresh
make
start.
the trade.
He need a fresh start. He need to get out of Oakland. Come over to Cleveland.
His friend's not another player on the Warriors.
No, I think this was
a
like
regular
I think
guy?
they said it was like a childhood friend or something like
Jeez,
that.
what a scumbag.
So, Tyvus, you said you would.
I would make that trade. I think it's an upgrade. It gives you the size that you want. He's a defensive guy. He's gotten better at the 3-point shot.
Plus that first round pick could be valuable.
Heck
Yeah, because
why would Golden State do that, Mike?
Because they haven't had a center essentially in the entire run, and Draymond does not provide
rim protection.
I mean, he's a good defender. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Draymond of 5 years ago where he was an elite defender.
But are they any good anymore? Even though Steph's still really good, are they?
They're at a crossroads. They have to decide.
Are they just going to be a bad team now?
They're at a I mean, there was a report from Russillo and Bill Simmons yesterday that said they might be willing to offer Paul George a max 4-year contract to try and extend this window. So, I mean, they could go either way.
I think the Cavs seems like they're getting too much in that trade. Why would the Warriors, a team that might have to rebuild, trade a first round? That would have to be a protect. They would protect that first
you
round
said
pick,
you got the dude from Jackson Davis on there too. He's a good rebounder. That's a good rebounder.
See, I don't think the Cavs would do that.
You don't think they would?
They crazy.
You don't trust Andrew Wiggins?
I don't trust Andrew Wiggins whatsoever.
I guess it depends on what you feel about Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
If I feel like he's in a good mental state, and I think he's ready to play basketball, and I would have to assess that. I think Andrew Wiggins is the first step in getting you back into contention because what's the thing that you got to be able to do? You either got to guard Tatum or you're going to guard Brown. Right now, the Cavs don't have anybody to guard either one of them. Yeah. You got to at least be able to take one of them dudes out of the game. At least one. And, by the way, if you get Wiggins, think about what that means for Mobley. Now you have a rim protector that can switch off. Now you have Wiggins that can switch off. Now you look a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. I just like the overall makeup of the roster more.
You know what happened if this trade happened? Jarrett Allen would go to Golden State and learn how to shoot threes.
That'd be disgusting.
He'd be a three-point shooter. We'd be looking like, really?
When G was talking there, you said a little bit taller. I started thinking about that song, remember?
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
Who was that?
I wish I have a girl. If I did, I would call her.
I don't know nothing about that.
It was Skilo.
Skilo.
So, Bo, did you take the trade or no?
I'm going to say no.
So 2 no's, 2 yeses. You and I say no. G and Tyvis say yes. And what's the chat consensus?
What's the chat talk about?
Look like chat doesn't want this one.
Chat says no.
All right.
Trade number 2.
Yeah.
If San Antonio called the Cleveland Cavaliers and offered Zach Collins, a stretch 5, Malachi Brandom,
go Bucks,
a top 20 pick last year, wing, and the 8th pick in tonight's draft, that would give the Cavs 8 and 20 tonight. What would Koby Altman respond?
I don't know much about. I know Branham, and I know what to pick. But what about
Zach Collins? Is a solid stretch 5, nothing special.
I would
but
not
a solid
do that.
Stretch 5.
I would not make that.
And the 8th pick in this draft, you theoretically could say I'm not getting Edie, or I'm not getting De Silva at 8.
Yeah, man.
Those guys could be gone,
yeah.
And then you're left with like that 20. And you could be with 8 and 20 and be like, well, these are role players. No, I'm not making that move.
Tyvis?
I love Malachi Brandom. Go Bucks. No, I'm not making it.
With that being said,
we all are in unison.
Nah.
So what if Koby Altman says that's not enough? And then San Antonio responds with this counteroffer. Kellin Johnson, Zach Collins in the 8th pick. So a more proven commodity at the wing. You have to add George Niang's salary in there to match salaries here. But Kellin Johnson's a much more proven wing than Malachi Brandom is. Whether you like him or not, it's up to you, but he certainly proved more than Brandom has. Plus Collins in the 8th pick for Allen and Niang.
Nah,
is that enough?
I still wouldn't do it.
I'm cool. Because Jarrett Allen is he's going to get, you can count on 16, 17, and 10 every day.
Yeah.
Twice on Sunday. And you got a rim protector.
Got a point there.
And you don't got to run plays for him.
It's too much unknown with the left side. Like the right side, you know what you're getting.
I need punch. I need I need somebody. If I'm gonna give it that up, I need somebody else who can come in and be like, oh, I know exactly where he's going right here. I don't.
So we're all no on this one, Mike.
I also would say no. By the way, so I have said no to all 3. Bull has said no to all 3. Tyvis and G said no to the Spurs trades. Said yes to the Warriors trade. Trade number 4. Before you take this, Steve, let's say you can't find a perfect wing, right?
Okay.
So then you have to pivot. Okay, what else could you use? How about a secondary ball-handling guard that brings a legitimate defensive presence and tough guy mentality to the team the Cavs have lacked? In theory, what if Memphis called Cleveland and offered Marcus Smart and their first-round pick next season for Jarrett Allen? It's not a wing, but Smart could be a secondary complementary guard to both Donovan and Darius. He guards much bigger than his stature, a streaky shooter. He was the heart and soul of those Boston teams, and brings that dog mentality the Cavs
Although they won without him.
had.
I was about to say, it's ironic he leaves and they win.
Yeah. How did he have? What kind of season did he have?
He was hurt for most of the season.
Nope.
And how old is he?
I think 29.
I'm going to pass on this one.
I think I'm going to pass.
I've always liked Marcus Smart.
I like Marcus Smart, too.
I feel like his best days are behind him.
I mean, I think that he would just be that veteran leadership that you want and, obviously keep guys in line. But when push come to shove, I don't know how much is left in the tank.
Here's why I would consider it. There is a lot of overlap in skill set between Mobley and Allen. We already know that you're not going to get maximum production out of Mobley as long as Allen is sitting there. I think Mobley's a 5. I think Allen's a 5. I just think Mobley happens to be better defensively, a better athlete, and is way younger. If you can give me a guy that I can say, okay, I can now play physical. I'm thinking about all these guys. I want a guy that can switch off on Drew Holiday and be physical.
How tall is Marcus Smart?
About 6'4".
6'4", 6'5". He's listed at 6'4", 220. Former defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
He guards bigs very well. He's tough to move in the post. He can guard up even though he's not a 6'7", 6'8".
He's coming off a year where he was injured, and he's 29.
We're flawed, right? Well, Jarrett Allen's coming off a playoff series where he was injured.
Yeah.
And he didn't play. So my thing is, I would look at it because it gives you more versatility. I can run with him and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a thicker type player. I think when Donovan wants to, he can be a good defender. And now I'm looking at it where I might think about making this move.
All right,
I ain't gonna lie.
G's in. I'm
I ain't
out.
gonna lie.
Titus?
I'm not gonna lie. It's risky, but it shakes things up a little bit and gives me more versatility against some of these other teams. Think about the improvement from Garland to Marcus Smart. We not giving up nothing in the front court. He could guard. He could switch on Tatum, Brown, Drew Holiday, Maxey. He could guard. It gives them a physical presence to the front court. I like it. It's tough, Tyvus.
I can see it either way. You know what? If they made the trade, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't be salty.
All right, Mike.
This was my favorite one I came up with because I think it makes you think the most because it's not a simple plug and play. It's we have to reconfigure how we look at this Cavs team, and adding a third guard of that caliber who could play alongside Darius and or Donovan, can put either of them off the ball if needed, and is a streaky shooter with the defensive instincts he brings, is intriguing. I think at the end of the day, if that was the best offer, I'd have a long, hard thought about it, and I'd eventually say thank you, but no thank you. I think I would actually turn that down, but I would think long and hard about this. And Ant, what's the chat's thoughts on this trade?
Chat's pretty split on this one, but it looks like there's more yeses than nos.
All right.
More yeses than nos. Okay.
By the way,
If Marcus Smart were younger, I'd be in on this one. I don't like 29 and coming off an injury.
But that wouldn't be my only trade.
Yeah.
My trade is like, I just got Marcus Smart, but I'm trading Darius Garland for Brandon Ingram. So my lineup is Brandon Ingram, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Marcus Smart.
And now I got Marcus Smart and Ingram who can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a try.
That's risky.
That's risky, but we did start Max Strus.
That's true.
Who was healthy and gave me
Risky
nothing.
starting him.
G, you mentioned Brandon Ingram. That is the next hypothetical trade. These salaries match up perfectly. Jarrett Allen and George Niang for Brandon Ingram. If that was offered to the Cavs, would Cleveland say yes or no?
Yeah,
I would do that. That's the first one I would do.
yeah.
Even though the injuries make you nervous because he's missed so much time.
Hey.
Ty, you're laughing.
I'm laughing because it's like the Cavs would do that in a heartbeat. Personally, I'm not a big Brandon Ingram fan. I just don't like the not being healthy, and I don't like the fact that sometimes he don't show up. But,
And he is a volume two-point shooter.
yeah, so that part gets me. But
Are you concerned about, like, Kenny Atkinson's all about analytics and taking smart shots, and the long two is not a smart shot.
No, and the one thing with Ingram, more than his play style, is he wants a $200 million extension. And that's where you're committing. And if you get Brandon Ingram,
You got to sign him.
you have to sign him long term.
Right.
And that puts you into the first apron of the luxury tax, and then you're restricted in other moves. So Ingram would be really the move you make. With that being said, I also would say yes to this deal if it was offered, because I think Ingram is the best wing you could get back for Jarrett Allen. And even if he's not a perfect fit in an Atkinson offense, I believe with the right guys around him, he can flourish. I am nervous about the injury history and his ability to live up to a contract extension that he's going to get. By the way, it's not a matter of will he get it. He's going to get it.
Yeah.
Is he worth it? We'll find out. But we all say yes to that one, correct? All four of us?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, next one. Let's say the Pelicans say Brandon Ingram's not on the table. So they counter with this. Jarrett Allen for Dyson Daniels, who was the 8th overall pick 2 years ago. Jordan Hawkins, who was the 14th overall pick last year, 2 wings. Daniels, a bigger wing, more of a defensive guy, who's shown three-point an ability to make three-point shots. Hawkins won a championship at UConn, was known as a Ray Allen light in terms of play style, a 6'4", 6'5" shooter, plus their first-round pick next year. Is that enough for the Cavs to say yes to Jarrett Allen?
No, sir.
No, I'm out on that.
I like Dyson Daniels, bro. I like him a lot. Dyson Daniels is the reason that Brandon Ingram is on the block. They like him too. Like, that's why I don't think they would have him out there. Like, and a first-round pick. Look,
You're in.
Here's what I'm going to say. And I want to preface this by saying, I'm not saying that I'm not a Jarrett Allen fan. The problem that I have with Jarrett Allen, and it's not even a problem, it's Evan Mobley. That's
it's not Jarrett Allen.
It's not Jarrett Allen. It's Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that they cannot play together.
And you're unwilling to give it a shot with a new coach.
Oh no, because I just don't think that is Jarrett Allen a shooter all of a sudden. Nah, I don't think Evan Mobley gonna wake up and be a shooter either. He may improve in that area, but we ain't got time to wait on it.
Well, Jarrett Allen ain't going nowhere because Donovan said he's not going.
That's another thing. Donovan likes him.
So if Donovan says that, he better make sure Evan comes in and is a three-point shooter next year.
I love this exercise. I was hoping Mikey was going to give me the Darius Garland thing, right? But the problem is Darius Garland does not have a trade value right now.
No.
His value is in Timbuktu somewhere.
Yeah.
This, I kind of, it's hard to think that even Allen is on because guess what? Kenny Atkinson just signed up. Right,
and they have a relationship.
And they talk about, like I just heard, they looking to sign a deal any day now. Right, that's what didn't Jason Lloyd report that?
Yep.
Who?
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, but also Jarrett Allen has a relationship with Kenny Atkinson.
And so obviously Kenny Atkinson loves Jarrett Allen.
Yeah,
he gave him so for me, Jarrett Allen is not on the block.
Yeah, they put that to bed when they hired Kenny Atkinson. That Jarrett Allen trade thing is done. It's done to me.
And now here's the thing: would he have to come off the bench?
Who?
That might be a thing.
Who?
Jarrett Allen.
Jarrett Allen's eligible for a 3-year, $90 million extension in a couple weeks, by the way. Just a heads up.
Would you make that trade?
For the Pelicans duo of Daniels and Jordan Hawkins?
Yes.
No, I would not.
Okay. So you made all these trades and you would only do one of them so far, even though you created them.
Yeah.
One in a possible.
We'll get to my big point at the end because we have one more trade.
Okay.
And it seems like you guys are in line with my
I
big
understand
point here.
what your point is. I get it.
Last one. Now, this is the ultimate pieces for $1. If the Thunder called the Cavs and offered Kenrich Williams, who is a 6'7", three-point shooting. He's short, but he's a 4. So stretch 4.
No.
I never even heard of those guys.
No.
Who was a lottery pick 2 years ago, who's a 6'10" stretch wing.
No.
The 12th pick tonight and a 2027 first.
No.
I say no as well, by the way.
And by the way, and all these picks that's thrown in, I don't trust Koby Altman to make them picks anyway.
That's fair.
That's a good point.
I don't want you taking those picks because if it ain't the first through the third pick, you've missed on 5 before. You've had the 5th pick and you swung and missed. You had the 8th pick, you swung and missed. Now, I wouldn't call Colin Sexton a complete swing and miss. He did average 24 in this league, but no, I don't trust Koby Altman picking players. So, no, I don't want those picks.
So, we're all saying no to this last one?
Yeah. No. So, your point is the Cavs are probably not going to trade Jarrett Allen because there's not a good trade to be made.
My point is there has to be a 3-team trade to make sense unless there's one more, which I'm going to do a read to get to. I'm still figuring out if it works under the new CBA. But this is actually the best one if it works. And let me tell you about
with
it.
the Knicks?